Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. How's everybody getting along? Well, we got some wintry weather to talk about. Yep, it is kicking in with winter from west to east here. Out west, we're dealing with those blasted storms here, but take a look here back east. This is right around the 10th, Friday, heading on into Saturday here, the 11th. So the 10th and the 11th, look what's going on here across parts of the Northeast. You are dealing with this trough, and yes, this is going to be kicking off a moderate snow event here. So parts of Pennsylvania, New York State, Northeast Ohio, maybe as far east as New Jersey, Western New England. Definitely going to keep an eye on that, but watch this. As we go into next week, there's something here that's going to really kick off here. See this trough here in the midsection of the country here? This is by the 13th. Look at this blossom. Look at this. Yeah, and we have some sort of potential nor'easter possibly here. Take a look at this. This is showing on in the upper air pattern here. This has been the trend, and we're going to see if we can get some sort of a snow event across parts of coastal areas and inland as well. Take a look at that. See how that spins up there? Yeah, that is kind of what you want to see for a big-time snow event, and we could be looking at the possibility for some significant snow. Let's take a look and see who and where it will fall. Just wanted to show you something as we go through the video. I'm going to talk more about this. There's the initial shot of snow in the Northeast for the first part of the weekend. But watch what falls next late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about here. Is this going to verify? That's a pretty healthy accumulation here in the Catskills, Poconos, upper Susquehanna Valley of New York. And take a look at this. This is a massive 6 to 12 inch range here into the purple. The maroon colors are, close to a foot or more. Yeah, let's take a look. All right, so before we get into your future radar here, let's take a look at the European run for the first storm. I'm pretty much in agreement with snowfall totals here. 3 to 6 inches northeast Ohio, parts of western New York, western Pennsylvania to north central Pennsylvania, and then another, anywhere from 2 to about 5 inches of snow. Binghamton, Scranton, eastward to the Poconos, Catskills, Hudson Valley, western Connecticut. All right, so taking a look at the HRRR future radar here gives us a good idea of our first storm, our 1-2 punch here. First Friday into Saturday, and then the next storm Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So we got this big storm out west here. Take a look at that, and we got this storm in the midsection. This is the one here we're going to watch that's actually going to translate into snowfall across parts of the Northeast here. Now let's take a look at 4 a.m. Friday morning here. You got some snow coming into the Cleveland area, Toledo area, and Detroit. Watch this fill in as we go throughout the early morning hours. Look at that. Cleveland, it's going to be really close for you. You're going to be right on the mix rain snow line, so I think you'll get, at least 2 to 4 inches here with some sleet pellets mixing in maybe some freezing rain and rain at times. But take a look here into Pennsylvania. This is where the snow is really going to start. So take a look. There's your morning commute, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So the snow is going to hit a brick wall up here, essentially, as has been the case with this area of high pressure. This area, we're going to be looking at dry bulbing going on, essentially. Dry bulbing is when we got this precipitation falling into this extremely dry air mass, and it's going to bring down the temperatures because it's going to be like Virga. Virga, with the precipitation falling, it's not reaching the ground just yet. So a lot of this will start off as Virga, and it will bulb down to the surface as the surface layer starts to moisten up. So let's take a look here and see exactly what goes on with this. Wow, look at this. So yeah, we're going to start picking up some heavy snow accumulations here in the Williamsport area, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Binghamton. This is towards 1 p.m. Looking over towards St. Mary's, Warren, Buffalo area, Erie, Pennsylvania. Look at this. Cleveland, you're back over to snow here. Solid snow by 1 p.m. Look at that. Pittsburgh, yes, you are in the rain. Look at this, Harrisburg. You're actually starting off here with some snow, but you're quickly transitioning to rain or a mix here. This is the area to watch, I think. Look at this. We're going to start to really rack up some snowfall accumulations here, some snowfall rates. Initially, it's going to have a hard time, like I said, with the wet bulbing and the higher sun angle this time of year. But, as we go through in time here, take a look at this. Yeah, this is towards 7 p.m. Friday evening, so we're seeing the back edge of the precipitation already. We're starting to end places like Cleveland and Pittsburgh. But look at this over towards Route 6 here in northern Pennsylvania, the southern tier of New York, Binghamton. Yeah, this is your prime time for snow. You are really kicking in. And look at this. Over towards the Poconos and Catskills, you will be getting some heavy snow as well. Some heavy wet snow over towards the southern Hudson Valley as well. Central Hudson Valley might have some rain mixing in initially. But take a look at this as we continue through the night. 9 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight. Take a look at this. We're still dealing with snow here. Stockton, Binghamton, it is lightening up a little bit. But look at Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Still got some heavy snow accumulations over here towards northern New Jersey as well. We get into parts of the southern Hudson Valley, eastern Catskills. And look at this. We're getting over towards Connecticut. Got some snowfall. Got a burst of snow here just west of Boston, too. Boston, it looks like you're starting. There is rain. And as we continue to move this system out, it's going to pivot out here, but watch this. You might see a burst of heavier snow down here into southeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and to parts of Connecticut. Definitely want to keep that on our list here for watching as we go throughout time. And look at that. You're starting to really crank down the snow there in upstate New York. This is by 7 a.m. Saturday. Look at this. We're starting to bleed the snow down here into the city. You know, you're still teetering right on that rain-snow mix line. Harrisburg, you've switched over to snow, and it's abruptly ending here. So there is your snow coverage here as we get 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Look at it. Starts to pull out. You can see it's pulling out to see. You can see, look at the perfect comma shaped here. You can make out the area of low pressure. It's going to pivot down this direction because this area of high pressure up here into parts of northeastern North America is just too strong. Let's get to the last few frames here, and I'll show you the snowfall amounts. There you have it. Still dealing with snow by 1 p.m. out here on Cape Cod and ending as snow in Boston. All right, so looking at the GFS here, and then I'll show you the European run. So here it is. There's our weekend storm. You know, as we head into Saturday, early Saturday, you know, late Friday night, Saturday. There it pivots off the coast, very much the same as the European and the HRRR NAM 3 kilometer. So there's our next system in the Midwest. This is, let's see, this is Sunday morning, the 12th. So this is 6 a.m. So as we progress in time here, you can actually see the system slowly diving to the south here. So as we get towards 6 p.m. Sunday, this initial wave is pretty quick here with the GFS. But watch what happens as we go out in time. It kind of just washes out initially. The two pieces of energy have a hard time coming together here on the GFS. You got them kind of separate here. So watch what happens here with this. It does result in a slower spin up here. Eventually they do phase. But look at this. As we head towards the 14th there at 9 a.m., you do start to get, at this point, look at this, Tuesday. Now you start to get a decent snowstorm into inland parts of New England. So let me just back that up there. There it is, 9 p.m. on Monday the 13th. So you do get snow there, the Poconos, Catskills, Hudson Valley, and then look at that. It becomes a New England storm here on the GFS, wrapping into Boston, blasting you with, 12-inch plus totals here and really wrapping around towards the 15th. So how does that differ from the Euro? Let's get into that. All right, so let's take a look at the European model here. Here is our low here across the Ohio River Valley. So this is going to continue to the northeast, and then it's going to pivot southeast like this. So watch this. Most of the modeling is pretty good with this system, painting that stripe of heaviest snow from southern Michigan, northeast Ohio, northwestern and north central Pennsylvania, western New York into the Susquehanna Valley of New York and upper Susquehanna Valley of Pennsylvania into the Poconos and Catskills, and maybe a little bit eastward here. You see Friday. And Friday evening, you get that pivot there, the strongest, heaviest lift there. It's just the northeast of this low-pressure system. It's not a strong low. It does jump to the coast here during the real early morning hours, just after midnight here on Friday night. So here it is. It's taking shape. You can see the snow still continuing, a mix pivoting down into New York City here in northern New Jersey and the lower Hudson Valley. And look at that. It does try to take shape here. Long Island's getting some heavy rain there out of it, 989 millibars, but look at, by the time it really starts to blast up here and blow up, it's essentially too far off the coast. It's pivoting towards the southeast at this point because you got this strong area of blocking. It can't go up the coast, essentially, so it's literally blocked, so it's got to deflect kind of this direction towards the east-southeast. So you can see it's going to try to clip Cape Cod a little bit, but for the most part, it'll pivot towards the south into Sunday here. Here is our next system here we're going to take a look at. Now, this is where things really differ From what I'm going to be showing you momentarily with the GFS. The GFS is tremendously different next week. And look at this. Thunderstorms here ravaging across parts of the south. I think you'll have a pretty big severe outbreak here across parts of the south heading on into Sunday morning. But here we go. It transitions a little bit more into, here's our wintry precipitation across the parts of the Appalachians here. Here in the Midwest here is our next piece of energy. It doesn't look like much. It's sandwiched between two major blocking high-pressure systems. Severe weather continuing across parts of the Deep South here as we head throughout the rest of Sunday. And take a look at this. It starts to pivot off the coast. This is Monday morning, just around sunrise. This is really starting to look pretty interesting here on the European model. It is so different on the GFS. Very different. But here we go. Got snow starting inland here. I know you coastal people really want some snow. Let's see if we can get you some snow. Well, the European model, yeah, it has been trending north. And unfortunately for you coastal people, that essentially means rain in your corridor. Look at this. It's really even marginal initially here into parts of interior Pennsylvania and upstate New York. Look at this. You're kind of mixed precipitation here between rain, snow, sleet pellets. It's not looking good initially here. This is Monday afternoon, just afternoon here. And as we continue, this is where things really start to get interesting on the European models. We go into Monday night. This is a couple hours before midnight here. Look at this. This is a 988 millibar low. If this verifies interior eastern Pennsylvania into the Poconos Catskills of New York, up to Albany, maybe as far northwest as Binghamton here, we could see some significant snowfall accumulation out of this. Look at this. And I still think, on this model run, eastern Pennsylvania, parts of northwestern New Jersey, eastern upstate New York, Catskills, Poconos, this is where the lion's share of the snow could actually fall out of this. And look at it, kind of stalls here. This is Tuesday morning, and even as far northwest as Binghamton and Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, you could be looking at, east from Interstate 81 eastward here, you could be looking at snowfall rates, if this verifies, 2 to 3 inches an hour. So this could be interesting. And look at how this blows up, and you start to see an inverted trough here trying to form. If that does form, places like Binghamton and Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, down to Albany, over towards the Hudson Valley, eastern Pennsylvania, even sandwiched down into here, parts of western New Jersey and northwestern New Jersey could get some significant snowfall out of this. 977 millibars. We're going to have to see if this verifies. So far the Euro has been pretty consistent with this, although this run has brought it a bit further north. You start to see here major mixing here towards New York City and the big cities of the Northeast. This is this is just after sunrise Tuesday morning. We're still dealing with moderate to heavy snow, Binghamton to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton on eastward here. And we start to lighten it up a little bit, parts of New England. I'm not so sure. I mean, we're going to have to go through this. The model runs over the next couple days. We're not going to know for sure until we get later on in the weekend, exactly what's going to unfold. 969 millibars, it's possible. I don't know, though. The European model has been known to overdo systems like this. If this does verify, though, this would be a pretty healthy, decent snowstorm here across parts of New England and then eastern Pennsylvania, parts of upstate New York. It's crazy, I know. This could be, and finally getting maybe on the backside of it, we might get New York City, some coastal areas in on this snowfall too. Look how slow it's moving too. Essentially, it's moving so slow because you got this big old blocking high to the north here, and the system can't go much. Look at this. This is heading on into Wednesday morning, 970 millibars right over Cape Cod. And we would still be dealing with snow showers way back into New York, Pennsylvania, all the way up into Maine. So, if this run verifies, this has been trending a little bit farther to the north. And essentially, look at this. This is by late Wednesday. The system can't go anywhere. It can't go north. So it eventually weakens and starts retrograding south here again. So this is the typical March pattern where we are into massive blocking that ensues here across the East Coast. All right, so I wanted to show you this upper level storm. We'll pivot through the weekend there. There's our weekend storm there into the Northeast. And look at that. That's our next piece of energy. It's showing up very well here onto the 500 millibar height anomalies. And then we got this weakness here into the Southeast. Watch them come together here on the European model. Still not completely sold on this solution, but yeah, you can see the two cells here forming Tuesday. at noon here. This would be a pretty big trough, enough to keep some sort of stalled out nor'easter along the coast somewhere. So we'll take a look here. Now, the interesting thing here with the GFS, it does something similar. There's the weekend storm, you know, late Friday into Saturday. Now, here's our next piece of energy. It looks completely the same as it does on the Euro. There's the southern stream energy. Now, watch what it does. It is slower to get going, and it doesn't really start to blast off until it gets into eastern New England. Hence, bringing eastern New England instead of further west, you know, the heavy snow. And here it is again. Take a look at this. Yeah. So, if this European model run does verify, let's just back it up to, there we go, when the storm is about to end. There we go. So, yeah, some of this will befall, most of this won't fall over, you know, the first part of the weekend, but look at this. Yeah, places like Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, 24 to 25 inches. This could be a massive snowstorm if this does verify. And even into parts of New England where you haven't seen much this winter, this would be a large area of 6 to 12 inches and then 10 to 25 inch plus here into parts of the Catskills, Poconos, upper Susquehanna Valley here. And taking a look at the latest GFS model run here. So yeah, we take it through the first part of the storm. It's pretty interesting. You know, I'm not so much certain what the GFS is thinking down here in a parts of the Poconos, Catskills, Lower Hudson Valley. Warning criteria snow. Definitely not looking that way. I think the GFS is trying to spin something up here and throw some moisture back. It's pretty interesting, but, you know, that is interesting. Let's go next week. Yeah, it's a lot more docile Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week than the European model. However, look what it does here into parts of New England. It is actually spinning up some pretty decent snows for you. So the European has it way over here for the heaviest snow, and the GFS has it over here into New England. All right, so a Canadian model run here. What's going on? So yeah, there's our first storm there across the Northeast, looking pretty identical to the European model. And there we go. The latest European model run for the weak storm next week. Yeah, it's a little bit it's further to the north than the Euro. It's taking most of the heavy snow into, once again, northern New York, into northern parts of New England. And here we go, John, over there in the UK, taking a look at this. Huddersfield University, UK, preparing for major snowstorm in the order of 30 to 60 centimeters. Take a look at this. Yeah, it is sunny at the moment. Nice blue skies, but look at that. Yeah, it's always the calm before the storm there. There's John getting out there on the open roads as well. So nice blue skies, but yeah, impending snowstorm. Nice captures there, John. So to all my Caribbean viewers, Central America, Mexico, and to the Gulf of Mexico, yeah, we do have some cooler air moving here across the northern Caribbean, but you know what? For the most part, it's looking beautiful. We do have a frontal boundary towards March 15th. It'll start to get here into the northern Caribbean, northwestern Caribbean, towards Belize, all the way up to western Cuba. So this frontal boundary will make it pretty far south. That'll make it feel a little bit on the chilly side for you. Definitely dropping those humidities down even further as we get towards the 15th into the 16th. And you can see the front kind of washes out, but we are far away from tropical season at this point. Wow, Western Pacific, look how quiet it is. Wow. This has taken us through the 9th, the 10th, the 11th. Look at this. It's not till the 14th here we start to get into some shower and thunderstorm activity here across the central Philippines. But you're having a beautiful stretch of weather here across the Philippines and Asia. Look at Asia up here. It is crazy how nice it is this time of year. And you're starting to get the cherry blossoms coming out in Tokyo, southward here, as well as parts of the Chinese mainland as well, into South Korea. So very beautiful. Just get out there and enjoy it if you can. And look at this. Yeah, as we head towards the 16th here, the 17th, we do have some shower and thunderstorm activity that continues here across the southern Philippines, up towards parts of China. This is an old frontal boundary that's stalling out. But as we head across here in the future, we just don't see anything tropical, and things look very quiet. Look at that. As we head through the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, all this intertropical convergence zone stays well south, mostly, of the Philippines here. And this is a big old frontal boundary bringing some nice spring rains up here towards Japan. All right, so let's take a look at temperatures here. We'll do some temperature analysis. Look at that. Thursday, it's just really warm, and then we start to cool down at night there. Look at the Northeast there, cooling down to the 20s and teens in upstate New York. And look at this, Friday, we're going to warm it up again. You know, ahead of that storm system, you're going to be wondering what snow. You're going to be getting to the 40s into eastern New York, eastern Pennsylvania, but that's going to be short-lived. I told you about that wet bulbing that's going to move in with that precipitation. Yeah, it's going to turn it over to snow. It's going to be a heavy wet snow Friday night into Saturday. And it's marginal enough there to keep, you know, some snowfall across this region into parts of, actually, it's right oriented from southern Michigan right over towards, you know, downstate New York here, just north of New York City in particular. But look at this. Saturday, we warm it up again. Look at this. Way up into the Dakotas as well, up into the 40s. But there's our overnight lows, getting cold there in parts of the Northeast. And look at this. We head on into Sunday. It does warm up, but watch this. Watch what the European model taps into here. Monday, yes, you do initially have a hard time, according to the Euro, getting any sort of snow here in the Northeast. But watch how this pivots. Look at, you can actually see the area of low pressure. It's pulling in all this massive blasting cold air from Canada here. And you can see it just bleeding here. This is this scenario here would be enough to get some decent heavy snow accumulations into much of the Northeast and eventually pivoting towards New England as well. Look at the overnight lows Wednesday morning. That's definitely cold enough to support snow. We're going to the 30s all the way down into parts of Georgia. Look at this. We're getting eroding some of that warm weather we've seen here into parts of Florida too. So we're blasting down into the 50s and into the 60s as well. Look at this. As we head towards Wednesday afternoon, we're not warming it up too much here into the Northeast. Look at that. That's cold enough to continue to support that snow with that potential nor'easter. Look at this in Texas. This is 70s and 80s. Look at that. That's crazy. All the way up to South Dakota into the 50s and 60s. And look at this. We pivot Thursday. Yeah, we do get a warming trend. Let's just go back one frame. So any snow that you were to get, look at it. It's going to start the big meltdown process. Look what's behind this as high pressure builds in. Look at this massive 70-degree air pushing to the Northeast here. And look at that. Friday morning. Yeah, we're getting cold here, but look at this. Chicago, 51 degrees. And look at, yeah, this typically does happen a lot. Look at this. Yeah, we're heading into Friday. Let's just back that up one frame. Yeah, we go from a raging snowstorm early in the week on the Euro to, look at this. We're pushing 60s all the way up into Ohio here next Friday, St. Patrick's Day. So look at this. Saturday, yeah, any snow that we would get would be gone by this point. Look at this. We're getting well into the 50s and 60s up here into parts of the Northeast. But look what's behind it. We're pivoting Sunday morning. Look at this blasting cold air. That's the last frame. I'm going to leave you with that until I get to my hometown viewers with extended forecast. Look at this big old, we might have another trough kicking in here. Extended outlook from hometown viewers. Bangor to Scranton, up for Susquehanna, River Valley. Take a look at this. Yeah, Friday we'll see some snow developing, especially after 3 p.m. Up to an inch before sunset here. So that evening commute might be a little problematic as temperatures drop. That snow moves in for Friday night, 3 to 5 inches additional accumulation into Saturday morning, ending before 7 a.m. Middle less than an inch. So we're going to top out, between that 3 to 6 inch mark advisory criteria. Heading up towards 34 Sunday, we get a warm front pushing through that next system. That piece of energy, rain showers up to a 1/4 inch of rain. Look at this, though. Sunday night and Monday, we'll have some wet snow mixing in with the rain. We could have up to 2 to 4 inches of slushy accumulation, but Monday night and Tuesday night is the big wild card. Thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather Northeastern and Weather Eastern. Don't forget Facebook MeteoMark, Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern, at Susquehanna Weather for my local page. And guess what? MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com is Twitter, at Weather Eastern. Don't forget, question or comment down below. Smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell button, share the video, and thanks for joining me.